me start by saying how proud I am of these two, the rest of our team, for the way that we have battled all season. Spent some tough moments after the game, and I kind of reminded our players, especially Jordan and Marissa, that it's supposed to hurt. It's what it's supposed to feel like when you expect to win, and we haven't had that in this program for a while, the expectation of winning. And so when you expect to win and it doesn't happen, it feels different. And so that's why it's been difficult. Why it's been difficult. They fought very hard to get to this point, and I'll say I'll give Toledo a lot of credit. Known Coach Cullip a long time. She does a fantastic job coaching her team. They really amped up the pressure on us late in the game. We didn't handle that very well. We had too many turnovers on crucial possessions, and we didn't execute offensively the way we kind of needed to. And I probably, at the end of the day, I probably could have called some better actions offensively to get some better ball movement. We got a little bit stagnant, and so we all share the blame in this one, myself included. But really proud of Larissa and of Jordan. It's just been a pleasure to coach these two young women. There aren't you can't find two players in the country that exemplify what being a student athlete means any better than them. I'm sure there's some others that are really good, but it's been fun coming to work every day coaching them. We're optimistic about still being able to play moving forward, but just couldn't be more proud of their effort and the way that they've handled things this year. But obviously it hurts coming up short.
Questions for Larissa and Jordan? You didn't shoot a foul shot. Kent State didn't shoot a foul shot in the fourth quarter. And you've lived on that all year. What did they do? How'd that happen? What did they do? Larissa?
I think we were expecting contact, expecting calls from the refs that we weren't getting. Even myself included, we just weren't going up strong enough, and I think that really hurt us. And then, let alone when we were going up into 2-3 people and not kicking or finding an open player, and when we did, turning it over. I think our turnover slate was really hurt us. As everyone knows, I think we are better when we get to the foul line and shoot free throws, and that's been our game, and the fact that we couldn't get there in the fourth quarter really hurt us.
Both of you have played a lot of minutes this year. Do you think that third and fourth quarter, that was at all a factor of just the season catching up to you at all?
I don't think so. At this point, every good player in the conference has played that many minutes. It's kind of just a battle to fight it out. I'm sure that plays in for everyone, though, so I don't think there was an advantage or a disadvantage to either team about that.
I agree with her. Nothing really to add to that. But.
Jordan, you got pushed around in the lane or pushed out, I think, more than usual happens. Talk about the post defense that they were doing.
They're a physical team, but I was letting them push me up. I should have been spin moving off of them, reverse seals more than I was. I was kind of playing into their hands by letting them push me up the lane. But they're two quality posts. They're physical and didn't handle it the right way.
Teams have tried to guard you in many ways, and teams have tried to get physical with you in the past. Did you just kind of talk about today, though? It seemed like that was really something that they tried to do, to both on and off the ball.
I was expecting that going into the game, honestly. I think most teams have tried to play me physical. I get calls sometimes, I don't. I just have to continue to play through it, and when I'm attacking, not to just bail out on it because they give me a little shove, but rather to finish through that contact. I think that really hurt me today, that I didn't.
Larissa and Jordan, we'll let you head back to the locker room, and we'll continue with questions for Coach Starkey. Thank you for your time today. Questions for Coach Starkey?
Question about foul shots.
Fourth quarter, no foul shots. Why? Not aggressive enough? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that when you've been used to playing a certain way and getting to the free throw line, I think one thing that Larissa was, and I was calling actions for her to have the ball in her hands. I probably, in retrospect, I probably could have called some things to get the ball out of her hands and then back in her hands instead of starting the ball with her as the primary ball handler. That's probably a little bit more on me than her, and she's trying to make the right play. Plays that she's made all year. Toledo did a really good job of really crowding her on drives, sending a second and third player. And one of the things that our team has struggled with at times is when Larissa's trying to make a play, standing and watching and not moving off of her and getting to open space. And so we got stagnant in that. Part of it was probably some of the play calling that I had. I probably could have called a few actions that would have started the ball away from her and then gotten to her late off a screening action. But I thought she was trying to make the right plays. And at times, we did get a few foul calls. We just didn't get to the bonus and get to the line when we needed to late.
How big I think you were down 2 and the shot clock winding down. They didn't even know how much time was on the clock. You could tell they were confused, and then the ball ends up in McConnell's hands, I believe, and she hits a 3, put him up 5.
Yeah, it was a big shot. Big shot. I guess it looked like she got it off on time. I think she probably released it just before the horn. It was close. It's just one of those plays that just takes the wind out of your sails. And I think when that happened, because I thought we did a good job defending on that play. I thought we really were talking. It was one of our better defensive possessions in the fourth quarter. And then the ball just kind of finds its way in her hands, and she throws up a 3, kind of a contested 3 with a few tenths of a second on the shot clock, and it goes down, and it's kind of a demoralizing thing. Obviously, you have to have enough character to play through that, but I think it kind of stunned us a little bit for the next few possessions. We certainly didn't execute offensively very well right after that, because I think it's just a natural reaction to something like that happening. You feel like you've done a great job, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, kind of comes a haymaker, and that hurt us for sure. It's a big shot.
Very last possession, you had trouble getting a shot off. What were you trying to do in those last, I guess it was about 10 seconds, 3-point game?
Yeah, we originally called a play to run some action. We wanted to try and score quickly. We're down 3. We're trying to score quickly on our inbounds play based on our call, get the ball inside of Jordan, which we did. And we were trying to get the best field goal available and then foul, send them to the free throw line, and then come down and have a chance to either tie or win the game. Maybe get a 3-point play at the basket, foul and in one, that type of thing. We just didn't want to settle for a contested 3 at the buzzer and live or die with that. Turns out that's what ended up happening, because we didn't score quickly on that. Other than Larissa, there's nobody better to have the ball in her hands at the end of the shot clock, end of a game, end of a quarter. Megan Carter's hit game winners this year. She's hit end of quarter and end of half shots. So she's capable of making a play there. We didn't get a great look, and she missed it. But we kind of put ourselves in that situation, and once again, Toledo did a really good job defensively. I mean, they have so much more depth than we do. The ability to play so many more players, and there's no drop-off when the players come off the bench. I mean, they're very good. More athletic than us, obviously did a better job on the glass than we did. But, didn't execute what we wanted to right at the end, and consequently didn't get a great look at it.
Megan did have one of her best games?
Yeah, I mean,
About points, 15?
yeah, she's a good player. I mean, Megan has continued to develop this year. Sometimes it's hard to, remember, she's a redshirt freshman. You know, this is a big moment. These are big games that she's playing, and I think she's continued to get better, especially through the conference play, and I think her teammates have a lot of confidence in her with the ball in her hands. But she's still on the learning curve. She's learning some things as we're going along, kind of baptism by fire a little bit.
You guys fell behind, I think it was 10, second quarter. Just kind of talk about, never being here before with this group and getting down in that situation and how you guys were able to fight your way through that.
Well, I mean, it's the mentality that they've developed as we've gone through the years, the expectation of winning. And we've been down in some other games, and so I don't think, early in the year we panicked in situations like that, and we struggled to kind of get out of those situations. When we got down 26-16, called a timeout right there when they hit the shot, brought them over. They didn't look panicked. We changed a couple things. They made the adjustments, and we won, I think, a 10-0 run or something like that, and got right back in it. So that's what this team has done. They've been resilient this year. They've matured. That's a sign of a mature team in conference play against, once again, Toledo's like 59 in the RPI. They're a very good basketball team. And for us to be able to turn things around and get back to that point, I thought showed a lot of heart by our team. And then really the rest of the game was just a dogfight the whole way through. I told them a number of times, there's no easy way out of this. No easy way out. It's just going to be a dogfight, and it was. And Toledo just got the better of us at the end, for sure.
Just, you alluded to the fact that you may play more this year. Can you just expand on that a little bit? Might be an opportunity to play more, and you definitely would accept that.
We're very hopeful that we're going to get a WNIT bid. These girls deserve it. They've earned that opportunity to represent this conference and to represent Kent State in postseason play. I feel confident in that's going to be a favorable decision on our side, and I hope we get it. We're going to prepare as though we're going to, and I think these kids just love playing together, and we would love another opportunity to continue to show people that we belong, based on all the things that we've been able to really do this year.
Thank you, Todd.
What is this last basket of what we hope isn't her last game, broke the season record?
Yeah, I mean, it's a record that's stood since the early 80s, 732 points in a season. Melissa's got 733 now. It's a phenomenal single. I mean, she's got to be considered as having one of the best seasons in the country this year. I'm just really proud of what she's been able to do. She's just been a joy to coach all season.